Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 233, and today we're doing battle with the Warmother's Call. And so, everybody knows I love a good ramp deck. We're typically on the Aurelian Soul side of things, maybe playing with the Mount Targon, Targon's Peak, whatever it's called, maybe not. Most definitely playing with Feel the Rush, but if you look to move away from the Feel the Rush and instead play towards Warmother's Call, what do you find yourself doing? And typically, this does find you playing within Demacia. I've looked across the other factions. The cards just aren't quite here yet to let you move away, but I'm definitely interested in, say, a time when we could go to Piltover or go to a different faction. But the majority of the big units do live within Demacia. We are trying to hit some real big ones here. We're playing the full 3 copies of Cytheria, the full 3 copies of Gorlith, a single Lord Eldred's Domain Seeker, giving everything tough, and then 2 copies of Tiana for the rallies. And so, as you would find yourself playing a Feel the Rush deck, you're looking to maximize your champions. Here, we're looking more so to maximize those units. Although I will say, you can spike the champions off of the Warmother's Call. The next kind of idea and interesting thing I have with this is I did lead off and try and start with the tentacles. I will say I like the idea of being able to play a bunch of units in the deck, but have all of those units be generated by spells, and then that gets us in the space to where the cards we're hitting off of a Warmother's Call are all good. And so I was really trying to get ourselves in a space to where we're just summoning tentacles, right? We're playing Riptide Sermons, and we're playing the 2-cost thing and the tentacle slams, whatever. That was our way to get units, and then we were only going to be playing Naga Kaboros. And so we were trying to summon Naga Kaboros and Alawi off of the Warmother's Call. It didn't work. It wasn't quite good, but I did like the unit summon aspect, and that's where it gets us here with Frozen in Fear. Now, Frozen in Fear is a card that typically you're going to find in, say, like an Ash deck, to where you're trying to Frostbite something and then play like an 8/8 unit. That's not what I'm asking for. That's not what I really want here. What I'm saying with this is, say it's turn 4 and our opponent plays Gwen, and then we get to flash freeze the Gwen and have a unit back. Now we can use that unit back to just come out and block something else. We're just hoping to get that little touch of value, that little bit of extra board stall out of our Frozen in Fear that you just don't quite get out of a flash freeze, right? A flash freeze does a great job of just coming in and preventing damage. Harsh Winds is good at preventing damage, but they don't leave anything behind. They're immediately gone after that. I like the idea of the Frozen in Fear giving us a little bit of a unit that can come on the board and just give us a touch more stall. And so that, covers all ends of the spectrums. We're playing the gigantic units. We're trying to ramp them out quickly. The way to get them on board is to either hard cast it. 8 mana is not that hard to hit, but ideally via Warmother's Call. And then we just have a bunch of board stall in here between 3 Blighted Ravines, 1 Avalanche, 3 Flash Freeze, 3 Harsh Winds, and then our hot tech for the day, the 3 copies of Frozen in Fear. And so that's the deck. That's what we'll be doing battle with today. I checked on the pay-to-win price, and we are all paid up, and we are ready for battle. And so let's go ahead and jump on in, see what we run into. Loads of fun, I'm sure. All right, the Thralls. We haven't seen the Thralls in quite a while. Good stuff. Let's see how this one goes. And so with this, I'm just going to search for the ramp. This isn't a deck that's going to come at us particularly aggressive. They are going to have a gigantic board on like turn 7, but this isn't a matchup to where we like really need to find a Blighted Ravine or we really need to find a Flash Freeze. We just need to get the ramp so that we can start dropping these expensives. All right, Clockwork Curator, you're doing it. Bringing it. Damage dealt. Good job. Loads of interactivity that we're bringing today. I love it. I love it. All right. Catalyst to the Aeons go. It is kind of an interesting draw in the Voices of the Old Ones, looking to pick up the double ramp. And so if we want to come into this next turn, not actually play any cards and try and get the double ramp 2 turns from now, it's a possibility. I would prefer to have something to put on the board next turn before we try and pull something like that off, but we'll see how it goes. So how does this mana work out next turn? This is can we pass the The Thrall is a little scary. I'll give you that, Thrall. All right, we'll play Trundle. Let's prevent a little bit of damages here. Tempting block, but we're not going to take it. Just need to not die for a little bit, right? I'm not expecting huge things out of this Trundle, but he did just prevent a bunch of damage, right? He stopped both of these Clockwork Curators for coming in, and then on this upcoming turn, we can't just throw him in front of the Frostguard Thrall. But next turn, we are going to hit that big and important mana breakpoint. We're going to have the 8 mana to start dropping Lord Eldred and Tiana. If opponent doesn't open, we can do some pretty nasty things here. And so let's see how they go about it. He brings it, says, I'm going to open. Not enough for a lethal. Like, you would have to kind of stop and worry about something like a Three Sisters here, dealing 3 extra damage. I guess technically you could worry about things like Ice Shard as well, but I don't think he's ever going to have the kill here. So if we come in with Eldred, that leaves us short on the Warmother's Call. It's a little bit disappointing. I guess we're stuck with just a Galio this turn. I guess that's what life is going to be. That's what we're going to be sad about, just stuck with Galio. Pretty close to that Galio flip, though. That's an exact flip, isn't it? Is it exactly 25 now? Yeah, I mathed that perfect. Planned it that way. He's going to Ice Shard, isn't he? Oh, promising future, absolutely. Okay. Okay, as long as we're getting to untap with this Galio, I feel pretty good. So, the big question for the moment, do we want to Warmother's Call, go for the random duder here, or do we want to take the guaranteed play in something like a Lord Eldred? And I'm leaning towards the Warmother's Call. We still have a lot of really good hits in our deck. We can't hit another Lord Eldred, but something like Gorlith would be quite good here. So let's bring it. We can also attack, take a bit of damage off of this Galio, right? And then get the rally and get a second attack in after this. But who do we got? Faces of the old ones. Sure. It was bound to be. It was bound to happen like that. All right, fine. How big is our Trundle? 10-10? Okay. So non-zero chance our Trundle gets killed here. Would we rather actually send in Galio? Right, the thing to worry about here again is going to be a Three Sisters, and so if he has Three Sisters and gets to boost the Galio or gets to boost the Frostguard Thrall, I think it's okay. It's just a little bit more mana efficient for him to do a Flash Freeze, but right, if he comes in and Flash Freezes the Trundle, but I guess he's never going to Flash Freeze Trundle, right? Right, you're spot on, Bust. He's never getting Flash Frozen. It's gonna be a Fury of the North every time. Okay, but that does make me feel like a little bit safer coming into this next turn, to where if he's going for the big lethal off of the Frostguard Thrall, he's gonna be kinda far away from it. I'm not entirely opposed to just even attacking with Galio now. Like, is he really gonna pop a Frozen Thrall from 6? Pop it from 5. That should be really... Oh, no, he's got an Inquisitor. That's 2 turns from now, though. Okay. Do your thing, Galio. All right, here comes a good hit from the Warmother's Call. I can feel it. I can tell. Galio Part 2. Feels good. Feels good, friend. So we don't have a rally just yet. We can look to play a Tiana and get an attack in this turn and then look to play Cytherea next turn or something. With the Cythria on next turn, we should be able to get a rally off of our Galio. I think that'll be how we end up closing this. So, we'll see. Tiana feels like the answer. And she does. If something like really comes down to it, if we really need to, we can still draw Faces of the Old Ones as a blocker. It doesn't feel like something we're going to need here, but playing an 8-drop instead of something like Cythria does let us get that little bit of protection on the board.
No hesitation.
All right, well, I'll take the rally. You got a block. We might just be lethal right here. They took a big hit. We get to swing back though. Good old Galio doesn't care about getting frostbitten. All right. Looks good to me. Getting that Inquisitor off the board does keep him from generating these frozen thralls. Here's our boy Gorlith. Not that exciting. I'll give you that. You're not that excited. Oh shit, he popped our rally. Yeah. Alright. It's like we're cupcaking. That one's not gonna do it, friend. So what are we coming in here for? It looks like about a $500,000. 42 into 12. Looks good to me. GG, my friend. All right. Market a W for bust. Off to a good start. See if we don't just play against elusives the remainder of the way. Just get smoked. But we got one. We got a victory. GG. No more summoning 0-3s off of our Warmother's call. I've done it once. We shouldn't have to do it again. What do we got? We'll hang on to the Faces. The Flash Freeze, I would prefer to have something like Avalanche. Dude is playing Zed, but I don't want to run into turn 3. I guess turn 4, and then have opponent be like, LOL, it's Zed, and we just don't have anything on the board. And so I think it's at least safe to hang on to now. It should buy us quite a bit of time. You gonna boom us? You gotta play? You gotta say, surprise challenger? Nope. Nice. Could look to play the Blighted Ravine here, right? His angles, he's going to want to play a Zed here, taking this 3 bank into Zed. That does let him open attack next turn, right? And so there is an argument to just try and drop a Blighted Ravine, but the ramp is too juicy, it's too tasty. Then if he doesn't open with Zed, we're still in a decent spot to completely shut him down with the Flash Freeze. Do want to try and cancel it though. If we get to Ravine him down next turn, it's a little bit more challenging to do if he's flipped. Cool. So no Twin Disciplines or anything to force the flip. Hopefully we can get a kill. Well, not anymore. That's not a possibility, but I think we still want the old Ravine. Limits him from making other plays, right? If he wants to play a Young Witch or whatever here, it's going to die to the Ravine. Keeps him from getting those very easy opens. All right, a little scary here, fam. A little scary. Harsh Winds was a nice pickup. Would we prefer to save it for next turn? I mean, like, probably not. Let's go ahead and slam it on in there. Now we get to make it 3-3 with the Frozen Inferior. Oh, you'll be a 4-4, won't you? You're ready for action. You're ready for battle. So what do you think the percentage chance is We play something like Eldred next turn, and then opponent has a Homecoming. This doesn't really strike me as the kind of deck that's probably playing Homecomings, but it's certainly a possibility. Now here, do we let him flip? Right, we have the option to stop a flip completely. I don't think it's worth it at this point. It's just like if we can prevent 2 damage now, or we can wait until next turn and try and stop him for like 8 or so. So I'm just going to let that one go. I think I actually want to just bank up this mana instead of getting a Frozen in Fear on board. Right, because if we add Eldred next turn, after playing a card here, we won't have any spell mana banked up for an attack on this one.
Strength through discipline, honor through diligence.
Right, I would rather have access to Flash Freeze here than have opponent... than have a 4/4 on the board. Ooh. That's tasty. That's juicy. Alright. Fine, dude. Eldred's ready to bring the thunder, though. He says, I'm here to block, bruh. I'm here to block. Are we going to get one? I mean, we can take 4? Doesn't sound like a lot of damage. We're tough, man.
A shameful display.
Now, look at this Frozen in Fear, man. It's going to be a 7 if we want to play it here. It's much bigger than anticipated. That's really close in terms of... if we have 15, and then next turn we play Galio. Galio gets 15 plus 8. What's that, like 23, and then another 6? That should be good for a flip. All right. Feels good. Feels good, man. Bring that Frozen in Fear. People saying, what the F is Bust doing today? The F you doing, Bust? Deny. Okay. That's kind of lame, but sure. Lame, but sure, dude. Alright, what do we got now? Leaning towards the Cythria just to give us the means to try and take the Zed off the board. Like, we're not going to get to play 2 cards, and so... The other option... Well, Galio's not going to flip, right? Alright, my 16-12 tough challenger ready to battle Zed. Ready. Can't have that much left, right? He's already played 2 riposts. I guess you can start to moving... Well, he's playing Fiora, right? He's probably got more barriers, but this is okay. Maybe we should have... Well, I don't really like flipping these around. If he has the combat tricks to take the Eldred down, it's kind of scary. We're just going to be dead now, aren't we? Gonna be dead. Uh-oh, Gorlith? Maybe? For... Boo. So close. GG, my dude. We could have prevented a few more damages those games, right? Well, probably prevented a few more damages. If you say, like, when you're putting your big units in front of Zed after he's already frostbitten, we could have looked to put, say, Gorlith in front of one of his Laurent Bladekeepers. And then if you want to play the barrier or the Bladekeeper, then kind of fine, whatever. But we definitely didn't take the route that prevents maximum damage. So... All right, though. On to the next one. This is going to be the this is going to be the spirit, the AOE +1/+1 ramp thing with the elusives. Right when you see Freylord in with Ken and Ari, Ken and Ionia.
Hide for a moment, run forever.
All right, so its opponent's attack token. I feel pretty reasonable about just dropping Faces of the Old Ones this turn. I'm not gonna block, right? I don't want our dude to be weakened, and then on our turn we're gonna come in and just drop a Blighted Ravine. There's going to be a lot of times to where you don't want your Faces of the Old Ones to take the damage from this Blighted Ravine, right? There's just tons of ways for it to take a point of damage and die. But here, I think this is still safe. He's not going to have a Katarina for a Blade's Edge or a Make It Rain or something like that. Can't play a Spirit Damager next turn, whatever that thing is called. Can't remember. We haven't played the Spirits Within in one video. I can't remember what it's called. All right. Well, I'm gonna drop Trundle. He's not that exciting here, but we're not like immediately hitting something off of our ramp next turn, and so if we can get our opponent to go ahead and play a Homecoming, to like send the Trundle back to hand and then only attack us with Kennen, I feel like that's a win for the turn.
I live for those who do not.
Time for a leap of faith.
The other kind of interesting thing I didn't consider with Trundle is us having the second one and potentially Trundle quaking. Getting that big hit of damage in. Interesting, I tell you.
Hide for a moment, run forever.
All right. We'll see if that's a possibility next turn. We'll have the 8 mana to potentially pull it off. He may not try an open attack. What you got, duder?
I live for those who do not.
I think I'm on board. There's a pretty reasonable chance this turn that he says, like, recalls Kennen, and then, oh my gosh, he doesn't. And then I was going to say, these Kennen strikes only do 2 damage now, right? I'm still in that space to thinking it does 3. Sure. Much better. Much better than taking a million or whatever it was. Could even block here if we wanted, but I think we can wait a turn on that. We're about to pop off a little bit with the Ice Pillar Galio. Nice. Good job, Bust. GG. Way to pop him with the Trundle Quake. What the fuck? Is Trundle just going bam, bam, bam? Alright, dude. Alright. Alright, what do we got here? Zoe Aphelios with Ionia. I don't know what we're getting into with this one. I do see Aphelios and think I want to hang on to Voices of the Old Ones, though. Just that premier ramp. This is one of these decks that's not going to be coming at us fast. And I think we can kind of pop this off. The space we worry about against Ionia is playing a Warmother's Call and having it get hit by a deny. But I think if we pop off like one Voices of the Old Ones, we should be in a pretty good space to just like start playing units. Just play big dudes.
Ooh, that's new.
All right, you attacked me. Fine. let me get my ramp bros down. Uh-oh. The game break. There we go. Thinking on it hard. He says, I forgot my quietus today. No Shadow Isles here. Okay. That's not particularly much damage.
The brighter my light, the stronger your shadow.
Looks like 6 now. Not that bad. We can't. We could potentially block the Spacey Sketcher. He's not going to have any combat tricks here, and our unit does just die to. Oh, nice. Nice. We just got the pass.
Gravity? Which side was upside again? Whichever way the paint dripped, Zoe.
I'm gonna pass. This feels like danger, but I suspect he's gonna spend his mana down here. Not gonna just end the turn. All right, mana please. I only hit 1. Kind of lame. Kind of lame, dude. Not your fault. You're cool, Pelu Snicky. This is RN Jesus's fault here. All right, not bad. We can get ourselves in this space now to where we're preventing big damage with our flash freezes and then just dropping huge monsters on the board. Hi, Trundle, you got stunned. You'll be fresh and ready next turn, though. Uh-oh, was not expecting the invokes. That's a little bit scarier getting access to obliterates. But I think it's okay. We shouldn't have to worry about things like Homecoming at this point, right? Bounce spells coming at us. I guess the obliterates could potentially be a thing, but this seems pretty control decky. Deny would be again the big one to worry about. It's going to be tough to find an opening for a Warmother's Call, but at least we do have like a million units in hand. So he hasn't played his Spacey Sketcher card, right? The thing I'm worried about now is if we add a unit and then, like, this would be a good place for the Eldred, what is his name? Lord Eldred. But if he comes in and has, like, a Crescent Strike, we're just going to get smoked on this turn. And so I'm good with this right now to where we can potentially just block 2 dudes. If he attacks, and then if he starts doing other shit and we get to switch to a champion, then that's fine. But I'm not that excited with him having over 3 mana right now and us trying to add big dudes to the board. Like, he might get to come down, though. Now a Calibrum. Alright, well, he did just Moonsilver. He's going to get to start doing stuff with the Felios. That's okay. I think we're fine to get our tough bro down.
Strength through discipline, honor through diligence.
Okay, so we'll lose the Ice Pillar to a Felios, take a hit from Zoe, but other than that, the turn should be pretty done, right? You're right, Bust. You're right.
Like this. With a knight's embrace.
Now the Sketcher has a Lodestone. It's like, why would you attack with this thing? That seems terrible, but gotcha. Makes sense. Alright, Duder, you got stunned. So we're not going to be able to lethal this turn. I don't really see any way where that happens. I mean, we can add Gorlith and kind of hope. He's the only good unit. Well, he's the only unit we can add to the board right now. But We're never hitting for the full 20 on this turn. There's the Crescent Strike. Sure. So we are getting to this space to where like Zoe's about to flip, right? She's up to 8. I think it's kind of okay, right? Maybe it's not. I don't know. He has Harazi in hand. So if he's getting to get Elusive and Lifesteal, or Elusive and Spell Shield, then that's going to be a problem, but we might make it out. There's the Zoe flip. Almost a Zoe flip. Not quite there, I guess. One more. One to go. So how big do we want to go this turn? I'm leaning towards, like, just playing the Warmother's Call. If he's just dropping stuns here, it's not really that much. But I think we have to get something on the board. And it's like, I don't care what it is. If we hit a Faces of the Old Ones, it's not great. But I don't think he's going to get a big elusive kill on us this turn. And this doesn't really feel like a deck that's playing Deny. So... Gorlith number 2. There's elusive for the team. Is that enough? I didn't do any mathematics on this. Maybe we should have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. GG. Maybe that was too greedy, sitting on double Harsh Winds Flash Freeze, but... okay. All right, here comes the nightmare of matchups. The elusives, the Zoe Teemo, don't have a lot that we can really do against this thing. We're going to go ahead and look for our AoEs. But if there's as much of an auto lose that you could find in the format, this is this is gonna be it. It's tough with like the Targon's Peak ramp decks. You could kind of find your way around these if you hit with the Targon's Peak, but it's so tough to do now, right? Since it's so expensive. Pale Cascade, sure. That's not bad. We would have preferred to have gotten the kill, of course, but he had to spend 2 mana to keep his unit alive, and he still loses out on Esmuth. Just does a good amount of slowing down the opponent. Gonna start dropping pranks on us, though. I think I'm okay with that. Pranks aren't units, and so as long as we're not dying, that's fine. If you want to spend your mana on Pale Cascade, spend your mana on Pranks. That's gonna play into our game plan. Gorlith can't block. All right, you're never blocking an elusive, anyways, my friend. All right, this will get us set up for a big turn 2 turns from now. We can look to play Voices of the Old Ones on the next turn, and then 2 turns from now, try and do something with all of our mana. You shouldn't be at a lethal. He's going to hit us for like 8 or so. Not even 8. More than 8. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay. You're not hitting on the voices today.
Nothing like the great outdoors.
And Timo. Got it. All right, where does old Trundle get us? We have the means to take down the big Kelp Maidens now. I was hoping to potentially get Tiana down this turn as well, but it doesn't seem like that's really gonna be effective. Do get to gain 2 health off of Gorlith if we play him. Whoever we ever have anything cool happening with Frozen in Fear? it's like we've got him in our deck. We got to do something with it, right? I mean, do we want to just go ahead and play Tiana? She does let us get that 3 bank, so if we want to start playing Frozen in Fear, we can, or next turn we could look to Flash Freeze. Maybe that's the way to go. This deck doesn't usually play interactivity, but it also doesn't usually play Kelp Maidens, and so I'm a little amiss at what we're going to run into here.
Hold nothing back.
All right. Tiana, we're counting on you, girl. Send that big collection of tough stats right at the Kelp Maiden. Get ready for a beatdown, bro.
Said bonk.
Sure. That's really good. We'd most happily trade away Tiana to not be taking all that damage next turn. And so that was a pretty good pickup for us. Still right at lethal. Got to kind of count on him to not open here, and so we can play one of our slow ass spells. But
Armed and ready.
yeah, too bad. Too bad. GG. All right, you're typically happy there if he says has the battle bonds for the next turn. Gives him a space to just deal that 2 additional damage. Like losing the Kelp Maidens or having a Tiana on the board really shouldn't matter to the opponent at that point. They're never winning the game if we get to go to our next attack step. So, all right, on to the lurkers. Another less than ideal one. Let's go ahead and mulligan everything. Look for a bit of AoE, a bit of ramp. We need the good early game stuff here. Hey, we found it. So we'll play the Sharkling, or play the faces. We're just never going to block. It's too much, right? This is the same spot as that previous game to where we want to protect the faces of the old ones from the Blighted Ravine. But it'd be sweet if this was a no-play turn from opponent. Their 3-mana play would be like the 2/3 Predict Lurker. But if they don't have it, they don't have any other units they could add to this board. And so as a deck that doesn't have a ton of spells in it, if we got to blank them on this turn, that would have been absolutely fantastic. But he had it. He's got it. A little change of pace. We got to feel the rush in this hand, so we can feel the rush out. Galio, Trundle if we want. Warmother's Call if we want. Lots of options, all the options in the world if we can just get up that mana. And so I think this turn we're going to be really limited to just playing Flash Freeze and then not blocking anything else. So that we can Voices of the Old Ones 2 turns from now. Maybe we don't even Flash Freeze this turn and try to do it 2 turns from now. It would be a little bit of a bigger a bigger prevent. Right, so we just give up on the mana this turn. We're 3 banked. No, next turn. That's not going to work out. Okay. Alright, little 4-piece nugget coming at us. We'll drop the voices. Hopefully our blocks will be good enough to give us some of that survivability. It's like we might have been able to flash freeze, but is what it is, you know? As they say, the great scholars of our era, when they're dropping knowledge, that's typically what they say. Yeah, it is what it is, you know? Alright, this open isn't lethal, though. Got lots of opportunity here. And a flash freeze. Okay. This dumb card. Oh, and just naturally having Rek'Sai on top? Okay. Well, we got to go ahead and block. Otherwise, he's going to hook the faces of the old ones in with a Chronomancer. I guess, though, this is going to be his highest damage unit for the turn, right? This is technically dealing 8 damage. And so if we get the stop the swarm here, and then he hooks our faces with the Chronomancer next turn. Okay. Now, where we're going to have to watch ourselves and where this is bad is you're going to look at our mana thing and see that we just have like 1 crystal to go. And we're going to be at, 10, right? You should just naturally get the mana. But if we lose out on our faces of the old ones, then on our next turn, we're only going to have 11 mana in terms of playing a Field of Rush or even trying to drop Cythria. So, we're just dead. We're just dead otherwise. We have to Catalyst. Whew. That Rek'Sai right on top was enough to do it. We could have stalled out of this if he didn't naturally hit it, but that's the world you live in, playing against the Lurkers. It's the dumbest deck ever. I take it back. It's not the dumbest deck ever. It's just really frustrating when you run into those spots. All right, on to the next one. If it's not fan club president Seraphine, it's something else. Am I right? What is this? The No Champion Shadow Isles? I think, is this another Warmother's Call deck? I don't quite remember what this thing is. But we got all the big shit. I'm ready on that front. No Rush 15. No, don't play any cards that cost less than 10, right? No Rush 15 was something you would say back in the days of playing StarCraft Brood War. You would go and join the public games, and then you would jump in the chat and say no Rush 15, right? That meant that nobody was going to attack until the 15-minute mark of the game. So you got to just sit around and build up resources and build up your tech, get a really giant collection of units, and then go and do battles with those. That's what we're doing in this one, right? Nobody's going to attack. We're not going to do anything until the 10 mana crystal bros come down. Not quite. I just broke the rules, but that's what that saying is going to be coming from. Spirits Unleashed. What are you doing, guy? All right, we'll get it in. And so the only thing I'll say about this game is we've been holding on to this Faces of the Old Ones, right? I don't want to just drop it and have it get smoked by Quietus. And so we might find a turn, upcoming through here to where we can get it onto board. This looks like the turn where I'm going to try and drop it because next turn we can Ice Pillar Galio. But there's not a lot of reason to just come in and run it out right on the first turn of the game. See if it survives here. Excellent. Let's get that 1 mana. That's good enough. It's always cold in the Freljord, bro. Alright, not surprised. Not surprised. It's so... we can look to say drop Galio, but I'm more interested in this next turn. Just playing a Warmother's Call, and so we'll just add on the faces. Get ready for next turn. Wasn't too bad of a ruination. It really only got Trundle. And so... Galio does have Spell Shield, right? Protects from the nastiness like that, but... I ain't scared. I ain't worried. Drop a little salt on it. Give me them rallies. What up, Tiana? Ready to battle?
Crown God's strength.
We just get a unit and win. Probably due for a laser beam. Go ahead and smash that in. Now, this does get stopped by some stuff, right? If he's going to come out and manage to have a harsh winds, this is definitely not lethal frequently. But gets us lined up in a pretty good spot to get our Galio on board. Galio should get us close to that lethal space.
I am here to help.
She's not going to just kill us, right? I forget what Soraka does. All right. Our big spell shielded bros, ready to battle. His friend Gorlith. And maybe we should have just played some of these formidable bros in the face of a flash freeze. What?
Cold and unforgiving as moonlight.
Diana. Okay. I'd like to have some stuff die so we can like feel the rush, but what a world, what a struggle, huh? Can you kill off some of my stuff so that we can get more big stuff on the board? I appreciate it, thanks, bro. All right, he's out of mana now. There's nothing else to really do. We can play Voices of the Old Ones, but I don't think we want to play, play any of our big spells. And an avalanche. Okay, gives us a way to deal damage to our own units if we need to.
I'll clear the way.
We're out of faces though. No more faces in the deck. What you got? Vengeance. Okay. Bring in a little cupcake, if you know what I'm saying. Just a little bit of cupcake. We should probably feel the rush, right? What a spot to be in. What a spot. Alright. Make some KDA noises for me. Trundle. Alright, cupcake achieved. Let's battle. Does have the quietus.
Follow my lead. I'll take this.
One smack will do. Get him for a million. GG Dragon Master. Victory for bust. Still curious what that deck was doing. Blighted Ravine, Spirits Unleashed. Is that what it was? Alright, though. Game 7 under our belt. We got time for one more. We got time for Game 8. Get the final battle out here. See how it goes. What is this? All these fucking weirdo champions in here. This is just going to be like the aggro Elise deck, isn't it, right? Swain, Nocturne, Katarina, Elise with all the skins. At least got the skins going for you, bro. All right, well, I assume this is going to be a pretty heavy, like, spider-based aggro deck. We'll hang on to the Avalanche just to make sure we can try and clear out a bit of the board.
Sends its regards.
Look for the ramp otherwise. Alright, I'm just going to keep passing. If he wants to just send it back to the next turn, I think I'm okay with that. Just taking 4 damage on an open here is not that big of a deal. Buru Sentinel. I'm just passing, bro. That's all I know how to do. Pass and pass and pass. Life's different now, though, isn't it? Life's different once you pick up the Blighted Ravine. See if he adds another dude. You gotta be a little greedy, right? So this should full clear the board. We'll have the mana next turn to add in Trundle. We could even make our high tier, our big time play with the Frozen in Fear, if that's how things work themselves out here. But this is good right here, I think. Arcade Nocturne, get that on the screen for you. Scary, bro. Very scary. Was there a timer? Look at that. Look at that. You got a timer up here next to the X. Is that a new feature? Interesting. Well done, Riot. This board doesn't give enough credit. I know a lot of people on Reddit are like, herpeter derpeter, they put all the little swords and shields on here, but no, this shit's great. The Oracle's Eye's great. I can't think of a card game that has a better UI than this. Did he give up? Did we unlock the Rage Quit? We might have unlocked it. No, he's back. All right. Leviathan on board. So we do have some good options on this upcoming turn, right? Eldrith and Harsh Winds do a lot of work in terms of preventing just a ton of damage. Now, do we have to look to get Gorlith on the board, or can we wait a turn? I'm going to just risk it and wait a turn. Drop in Feel the Rush. So how we want to go? Or would we rather Warmother's Call? Like, we do still have 3 faces of the old ones in our deck. I don't think I like that. Big Trundle, big Galio.
Go on, Fang. Just like I taught you.
Interesting. Stuns the Trundle and doesn't pop the spell shield. Ah, he just gets a kill, right? RIP Trundle. All right, though, but now we've got to prevent a little bit of extra damage. Drop in the Gorlith, swap that health back around. Swain's up to 6 ticks. That's the one I was worried about, him dropping a bunch of stuns on our friends here. Can't be blocked by enemies with less health than me. Okay. No attacks. Broadmane gonna get a kill. Not bad. Not bad. And the Swain train. Ooh, he's gonna get a stun in there, isn't he? All right. We'll drop those in. How much are we looking at now? 8 falling to 2. Not a big fan of that. Falling to 5 seems a little bit better. We're still going to be in like quite the spot, right? If he has a Noxus Blast and still has the Leviathan on board, we're going to die to that. But at least give ourselves a chance to come into this next turn. We have a second Gorlith if we want, but all right, that's going to do it. GG. About what we expected. We had a bit of an edge there. I feel like we really got him good with some of those AoEs, but just too much damage on board there at the end. And so, interesting set of games, about how I expected it to go. The aggro decks for this kind of thing are just quite brutal, but we did have a couple of good turns with the Frozen and Fear. I was glad with how that played out. And then, of course, these big ramp spells are always fun to drop on the board. And so, in terms of having this be a fantastic ladder grinder, absolutely not. It isn't. But it's something that you can consider to bring to best of 3 if you're trying to just focus down those really aggro decks. And so if your opponent's bringing control lineups, or if they're bringing a balanced lineup and you can just ban out their aggro deck, then you have some space there. But realistically, these ramp decks have been kind of pushed out of the game. But I don't remember what exactly it does in the World Ender spoiler, but they are printing another ramp card, and so it's not completely gone. I guess it's just the Targon's Peak is too much RNG. Seraphine is not. I have to say it. I have to say it every single time. I have to say it every time, but. Nonetheless, I think this is kind of an interesting concept to take with the Frozen and Fears. The cards here not quite good enough. Frozen and Fear. This I won't say that it ended it for us, and that it being slow and we didn't get to use it. This is typically just like something else, and decks like this typically don't play Three Sisters, and so we were kind of missing. We did have some turns there where it was pretty relevant that the Flash Freeze didn't hit, but I think this idea is still reasonable. But nonetheless, good set of games. I had fun. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. And so I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.